It's on screen for 12 frames.
Okay, so half a second. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Fight Club. You don't know you saw it, but you saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I've been dreaming about demon penises.
There you go.
Hey, Catherine.
Hey, James.
Hey. You ever seen The Omen?
You know, The Omen is one of my favorite films.
The OG Omen
The
from
OG,
the 70s?
yes, the OG Omen. And, I think that's why Damien Leone and I, hit it off because he's named after.
His name's Damien. Oh, is he?
He's named after.
Oh, that's fun.
That's actually who he's named after. So I was particularly excited recently because I saw this awesome film called The First Omen.
Yeah.
That lays the groundwork for all that's to come. And I was particularly excited. Spoilers. They thought there was a moment where
You're spoiling right off the bat?
I have to.
It's right off the bat.
Damien. I don't know. Anyway, it's so funny though that is one of my favorites, and that you saw The First Omen too and really loved it, correct?
The First Omen, not the original Omen.
You didn't love the original.
No, I like the original Omen. I'm just differentiating because, like, when you have like the first Purge and you're talking about the first Purge, you're like, oh, the one with Lena Headey. It's like, no, the first Purge, not the original Purge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're talking about The First Omen today because I'm Catherine Corcoran.
And I'm James Janisse, and this is Scream Dreams, where we talk to filmmakers and creatives about what really scares them. Like today, we're talking to Arkasha Stevenson,
who is the director of The First Omen, which is one of the biggest films of the year and one of the ones that everybody is talking about because it is so incredible. Thank you so much for joining us.
That's very kind of you to say. Thank you.
It is.
Very happy to be here.
Go ahead.
I don't think I've heard the name Arkasha before. Where does that come from?
It's a man's name.
Oh, is it?
Yes. It's Russian. It's the diminutive of Arkady. So if your son is named Arkady when he's little, you'll call him Arkasha.
Arkasha.
I was supposed to be a boy.
Oh, yeah?
But I came out and they kept the name.
Is your family Russian?
Well, yeah, it's really interesting. We thought my mother's father was Russian, but we didn't really know very much about him. And so we just heard that he was Russian and so went full in, read all Dostoevsky.
Yeah.
Huge Tarkovsky fan now. And recently found out he's not Russian at all.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
So your whole life's a lie.
Pretty much.
Have you been to Russia? Have you ever visited?
I was in the airport for 13 hours. So does that count?
I never count airports when it's like that transitory.
You have to see it.
Yeah, they're kind of like embassies, like they're not really the surrounding city or country that you're in.
Then I've not been.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Now, okay, my mind is like already going because you were supposed to be named. You were supposed to be a boy. You explore in The First Omen the value system between male and female babies and being born. Mm-hmm. And you are a female director to take on a huge franchise and body horror, which we talked about a little bit before the show, in a very male-dominated space. Do you feel like you were having a little bit of like a male identity crisis?
Oh, that's such a funny way to think about it. No, I never thought about it that way. That's interesting, though.
Or like sense to prove yourself, with this like powerful name that you've been given since birth.
Oh, well, my mom said I was either going to be a ballerina or a sex phone operator with this name. So,
Wow.
Director, I guess, is somewhere in the middle. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. I think we do both.
Choreography involved, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But did you ever think about how like you were supposed to be born a male during making The First Omen and these themes of it?
No, actually, it's very interesting. This is the first time I've thought about it.
Oh,
or
wow.
anybody's mentioned that. Yeah.
Exclusive, yeah.
Yeah.
What drew you? What brought you to the project? What was that process like?
Because this is your first feature
Yeah.
directorial,
It is,
even though you've directed TV shows before. You did the first episode of Brand New Cherry Flavor, which I really love that show.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
Yeah,
So good.
Yeah.
great work
And
there.
you also worked on Channel Zero, right?
Yeah, I did with Nick Antosca.
Who we also had on. We love him.
Yeah. Nick's a genius.
He is.
Yeah. No, it was really interesting. Very strange timing because I had just met a friend earlier who was telling me about this script, and she ended up sending it to me at the same time I was having a general with the studio and really hit it off with them. But, I I watched, I don't know if you guys watched the Omen franchise growing up, but I did, and it was enthralling, and it's like one of those body count, franchises that's just so fun when you're a child to see how many different ways people can die.
Yeah.
And but it's a very masculine trilogy.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting when I got the script and I opened it, and I expected the lead to be a man, a priest, somebody. And it was this young novitiate, and I was like, oh, this is very different, and this is a really interesting way back into the universe.
Yeah.
Especially because you're going to be talking about birth themes. If you're doing a prequel, you have to answer the question of how was Damien born.
Yeah.
So it just made a lot of sense to dive in.
Yeah.
Can I ask about the conflict between what we see in the first Omen and what we're told in the original Omen as far as Damien's birth goes, with the whole jackal thing? Because I know that a lot of people who saw the first Omen were like, I loved it, but wasn't he born to like a jackal? So I'm sure that came up during.
Yeah, it was interesting. So we wanted to maintain the mythology, but kind of come at it from this unexpected direction. So for me, I don't know why, and I work with a writing partner, Tim Smith. And when we were writing, I was like, the jackal just feels very male to me. And when we're talking about, like, it's a movie about forced reproduction, birth, and rape.
Yeah.
And so it felt like the jackal is not really the main villain here. He's really just a pawn, and the real villain is the people within the church who are creating this conspiracy. And so it just felt very natural that he would be a man that was used to impregnate these women. And there's also, I don't know if you guys have read this book, Women Who Run with Wolves.
Yes, I love that
You
book.
do? That's amazing. You're like the first person.
No, it's really an inexpensive book. I forget, like right around the time of the Me Too movement, it was like popular again, and I ordered it, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. Well, so you know about the animal groom.
Yeah.
So there's this collective dream that has been documented that women all over the globe have had, and it's that this man that's half animal and half man will stand at the foot of their bed and watch them while they're sleeping, and it's this, it's a metaphor for rape, women's fear of rape.
Yeah.
And so when we're talking about the jackal mythology, I was like, oh, he's a metaphor,
Okay.
And so we were able to maintain bits of the mythology by, Margaret is part jackal, so is Carlita. All these children are. So the mother being a jackal still works, but we were able to say something, I think, that I was more interested in examining.
Okay.
With this kind of haunting masculine figure. So.
Well, and I felt like your portrayal, I mean, some spoilers, guys, because we're going to dive in here, but I feel like your portrayal of the devil at the end, or the demon at the end of the film, was very jackal-esque. It kind of had these like wolf-like talons, and
Yeah, that's the jackal.
Yeah. That is, so like technically he kind of is born of a jackal in a way. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, so that's the jackal is the one impregnating these women and impregnates Margaret. So that, you are seeing the jackal at the end.
Yeah.
So Margaret, who was born from the jackal's her father.
Okay.
And then they say that the Antichrist can only be raised by come from incest. So yeah.
Oh, that makes total sense now.
Yeah.
You also explore in the film, which and I'm sure you've had this conversation, so please pardon us if it's a little redundant for you, but we're just so excited. Right now, you have the first Omen out, and you also have this film Immaculate out, which both deal with ideas of like birthing the Antichrist, right? And it was incredible to me to watch back to back a male take on the horrors of forced impregnation, birth, and the trauma around female sexuality, and then you take it on, and the depths to which you as a woman went with it was just, and both films are great, but I was just so blown away by how far you go, how visceral it is. I think you touch on these themes that are so hard for people to process and to feel like they can show on screen. What was the process like of being able to get that greenlit to go to, and like spoilers, it's very graphic in an amazing way.
Yeah. Well, I think what's interesting is I think this was all happening. We pitched right when the 6-week ban was passed in Texas, and we flew out to shoot the day the Dobbs decision came down. So this was very much in the background of everybody's mind. The studio, the producers, us, when creating this. And for me, I've always been very interested in body horror because I think that you're really encouraged growing up to dissociate from your body a lot, especially if you're a woman. And so like a lot of the body is a huge mystery, and it's kind of a source of horror for women in general. And that's really promoted, I think. So getting to see parts of the female body, but also doing it through this lens that was through fear and not through sex or any kind of fetish was something that we really wanted to do. We wanted to make a super sexy movie. We wanted to make it to be very sensual, but when it came to kind of body mutilation, wanting to desexualize those images and make it, just wanting to make it really personal. Like these are images that terrify me. I'm constantly paranoid about people wanting to put things or pull things out of my body, so not pulling back on those images. I think if you're going to talk about this material in this time, ever, but specifically in this time, because it is so combustible right now, I think you have to be brave. Yeah.
And so I guess that leads us to the shot, which I think it's so cool to have a movie where you can say like, oh, the shot, and everyone knows what you're talking about. Because my wife and I saw the film at a screening where you did a little discussion afterward in front of the theater. You and your lead actress, what's her name? I'm sorry.
Nell Tiger-Free.
Yes, Nell, who was incredible.
Yes.
Especially seeing her in person and seeing how she is in real life, and then trying to reconcile that with the character she plays, which is an entirely different human being. It's like, oh, she is acting. It's great. But your discussion, and also you two are so cute together. Not to be like dismissive or like sound condescending, but like your relationship seemed very loving, and it was great to see the true care you had for each other. But you were discussing the shot, the hand coming out of the vagina, and you were discussing the difficulties you had with the ratings board and how you had to trim the beginning of that shot prior to the traumatic imagery when it was just the vagina. And we've been telling that story to everyone who will listen to us talk about it. So I'd love to just talk about it more here.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because it's like the dealing with the ratings board, you aren't told what is offensive. It's very subjective. And I think that you kind of have to play Nancy Drew a little bit, And then somebody was like, do you think maybe it's the vagina? And I was like, no. We have a demon penis, like a full frontal. Did you guys see the demon penis?
Yeah.
I missed it. When is it? I felt because you mentioned it and I was like, how did I miss the demon penis?
Go back, man.
Okay,
It
yeah.
wraps around her. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's actually not the penis.
Oh,
That's not the penis?
is that
That's a
tail?
tongue.
Oh, tongue.
Yeah, but it is
So many
meant
body
to
parts.
evoke a penis.
Yeah.
So
So you missed the
thank
penis
you.
too.
So you missed
Yeah.
the penis too.
See?
But go ahead.
Yeah, it's a close up. It's on screen for 12 frames.
Okay, so
You
half a
know?
second. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Fight Club. You don't know you saw it, but you saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I've been dreaming about demon penises.
There you
Oh.
go. Yeah.
I told
You're
you
welcome.
to hold off.
Thank you.
We were going to talk about your dreams about
That's
penises
right,
on
I'm
another show, James. I'm just kidding.
No, it's once you see it, you can't unsee it, and then you just see it the rest of the movie. So be careful. But yeah, it's still in there, and there's like a lot of really horrific violence, and none of that is called out. But of course, the vagina is called out. And sorry, I totally lost track of what
We're
your
talking
question
about
was.
talking with the ratings board. How did you?
Yeah.
How was that
And
process?
you figured out that it was the shot prior to, because a hand comes out of it, and
Yeah, so through like a guessing game,
Yeah.
and their compromise was to put in this profile shot, which actually I didn't want to put in because I thought it was too graphic.
Oh, I was wondering why you had those profiles. That makes total sense.
Yeah, but it's really like, rather than, I just think that I was raised on Georgia O'Keeffe. Like
Yeah.
So I was just like, this vagina has to be beautiful, and it is. And
It's a prosthetic vagina, right?
Yeah. This goddess of a woman donated her time and did a life cast, and the Moreau team made this incredibly detailed piece that like you walk on set and you're like, where's the other half of that woman?
Yeah.
You know, it's very disorienting. So first off, it was just so beautiful. And then second off, there's a totally different feeling if you're watching this thing slowly emerge and you think, oh, the baby's head is crowning, and then it unfurls and you realize that's not a head. When you chop that in half, it loses that effect.
Yeah.
But originally it was going to be a 30-second shot. But because people are so offended by just a vagina, you can't do that. So we switched to the profile, and you have to start it the moment something is emerging. And for me, that was just, seeing the flesh tear and stretch was really upsetting.
Yeah. It's so funny. I heard that ringing, and I thought perhaps something was coming from the beyond. Do you think it's who we think it is?
Yeah, I think that was a little warning chime.
Oh.
I think we got something coming.
Oh my gosh.
You ready?
Does it feel a little warm for you?
It's getting steamy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. She brings the steam because she's coming right now.
Yeah, baby, I'm here. Hi, Arkasha. Nice to see you. Oh my God, we just love your fucking movies so fucking much. I can't even take it. It's like one of my favorite movies of the last 10 years. I'm serious.
Wow.
It's insane.
Thank you.
One thing I wanted to ask you that I didn't quite get clarity on was the script came to you. Somebody gave you the script.
Yeah.
Was that wasn't your writing partner that you write with all the time, right?
No,
it was somebody different.
Yeah, somebody at Phantom 4, Gracie Whelan, who is a producer there. Oh. Yeah, I had met her before, and she's an amazing woman. And
so did you go in and pitch on this movie, like with a whole team of bringing this movie, or were there multiple directors that pitched on it, or was this always your project from the beginning?
No. It had been in development for a while, and had lived many lives. Oh. And we were just really lucky to where the wind finally swept our way. Yeah. And so my writing partner Tim and I pitched on it together. Yeah.
Okay, and you did a rewrite on it for yourselves. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Okay, I mean, it's so, it's healing for us women to see a movie and a filmmaker make a movie from a woman's point of view, and so much from a woman's point of view. I mean, you feel it in the DNA of the film, aesthetically, and that actress was just so amazing, and just the writing and everything, it was just all there. It
thank you.
We don't often feel like it. Yeah, it feels like the main protagonist is a woman, but then you just don't feel like it's a woman's movie, really.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think that's fair, and I really appreciate you saying that. That was a big goal of ours.
Well, you hit it out of the park. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm going to play a game with you. I know we have to move on. So Catherine comes up with all the games because she's amazing. And in this game, our guest, you, will be presented with a vivid nightmare scenario that could exist in the Omen universe. The challenge is to come up with a creative and imaginative escape plan. Each time the guest comes up with an escape plan, a host will counter with an obstacle which would keep them in the terrifying dream scenario a little longer. The guest's goal is to continue to come up with escape strategies until they finally wake from the nightmare. So we're going to kind of create this waking nightmare together.
James, how much do you love Factor meals?
I love Factor meals because I don't have time, Catherine. Time is something that
you don't have it.
It just slips away through my fingers every day, and I think about how much time is leaving me, and I'm like, oh, but I have to eat to sustain myself, and I don't have time to make food.
There's just too many minutes in the day. You're having an existential crisis. You're like, I don't know how I'm going to do it all. And
exactly, but I do have 2 minutes to make a Factor meal.
to put it in the microwave. It comes pre-made. It's delicious. It's healthy. It's specified to your dietary needs.
That's
We're
right.
both big
And
into fitness.
I've
and
got them. Yeah, my trainer is like, hey man, you gotta stop eating all these high fat things. You gotta eat better.
He's
And I'm
like, eat the Factor meals.
don't worry, I got Factor.
And so it works out. So if you want to try Factor yourself, or if you're just too busy, or you forget to eat like I do, it's like a neurological thing. I feel like I
You
don't.
gotta remember to eat.
I know. I feel like I don't feel hunger. This is like a real thing.
Oh yeah.
I think I have a neurological imbalance where I don't feel hunger.
Oh no.
I don't know. It's like an evolutionary mechanism. But anyway, thanks to Factor meals, I don't have to worry about that, about
right.
accidentally killing myself from starvation. I can just use Factor. And if you want to use Factor and support the show, you can go to factormeals.com/screamdreams50 and use the code screamdreams50.
Why is it 50?
Because 50% off.
That's right.
50% off to get, or no, it's not. That's a lie. Wait, actually, yes, it is. 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box. So so it's like a double whammy.
That's
it's
right.
like Scream Dreams 50, you get 50, and then 20. What's that? That's 70, really, when you think about it.
That's not math, but but that first one is half off.
It is half off.
Which is great.
So if you want to support the show, head to factormeals.com/screamdreams50 and use the code screamdreams50 to get 50% off your first box and then 20% off your next box. That's code
Scream Dreams 50.
at
Scream Dreams 50. Factor.com.
factor.com/screamdreams50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next box while your subscription is active. Don't starve to death. Get Factor meals.
Do it.
You know what's a nightmare? Dehydration.
Yeah. You know what's an even worse nightmare? Plastic pollution.
That's why we love Liquid Death and their evil mission to murder your thirst and kill plastic pollution.
That's right. Their aluminum cans are as metal as they get. So pick some up today because we all need something refreshing to reach for when we wake up from a nightmare.
It's true. Cheers.
You find yourself lost inside a nunnery orphanage. It is dark. All is silent except for the unsettling echo of someone singing a hymn in the distance. As you wander through the corridors, you come across a room filled with sleeping children, except for one child, Damien, who is wide awake. You walk over to the crib where his eyes meet yours with an evil intensity. As you look into his eyes, you begin to see flashes of horrific events. A nanny who hangs herself, a woman stabbed in the neck with a carving fork, and another woman thrown to her death through a hospital window. We go on. Okay. Nuns begin to fill the room, entranced by baby Damien and murmuring prophetic warnings. You cry out for them to stop, but they ignore you. You try to run from the room, but the doors and windows are sealed shut. One more sentence. The nuns begin circling you, chanting, Ave Sant... What? Santani?
Yeah, I just Googled him. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Ave Santani. You realize they're going to make you the human sacrifice. How do you escape?
And is this when I pull out my kerosene and lighter and set the lead nun on fire?
You could.
Sure.
You could do that.
Go ahead and do that.
Definitely
Okay.
possible.
Option A.
Okay. Except that she's got some holy water. Damien has some holy water in his crib. And, he's a being that, is very all-powerful, even though he's a baby. And so he takes the holy water and he douses the fire out.
Wow, that's a swerve. The Antichrist has holy water in his crib. Wow, not expected.
He's been consuming. He's been microdosing over time just to build up an
So
immunity.
now he's immune. Iocane powder. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's trickier than I thought. Is defenestration an option?
I don't know what
Is
that
there a window that's throwing someone out a window?
Oh.
Yeah, throwing yourself out of the window.
Oh,
right?
specifically?
Oh, is it?
I thought it was
Just
any
kill
kind of
yourself in the
motion out of a
dream?
window.
Well, do I die, or is this just like I break a leg and crawl away kind of
Well, that's what I would
deal?
say. So you go to throw yourself out the window, but they don't let the nuns are bringing you, pulling you back in, and your nails are grinding into the floorboards, and they bring you back, and they chain you to a bed because you are about to be the sacrifice for the Antichrist.
Ooh.
And then I channel Mia Farrow, and I say, I'm his mother. I'll take care of him.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and they're like,
Which-
like, well,
yes.
we've been really enjoying our time being able to go out to clubs and stuff, and so we didn't want to raise this kid, so I guess
He's
that works.
all yours.
Yeah.
You look like a trustworthy adult.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Problem solved.
I think.
So,
But
I
is he
think so.
still showing like? Yeah, I guess you just decided to live in the nightmare.
My life is a nightmare. It's fine. I'm used to this.
aren't we all living in this nightmare?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we call this hell-hole of life right now.
Yeah. Also,
Gotta
I
keep
remember
going.
what I also,
Beautiful.
This is a
we
waking
all?
nightmare for all of us, you know? And we just have to be nice to each other.
I
to
love
get
how we've been
through it.
saying if things will get back to normal for like 10 years now. We've
Yeah.
been saying it'll get back to normal soon.
yeah, and in the mess that is the business right now. That's this waking nightmare. We have to just make movies that are nightmares and support each other.
Well-
I love that this nightmare turned into a therapy circle. This is actually really helpful.
You know, but it's all about trickery, isn't it? So what we're discussing is all about trickery because, you know, you trick them by saying, I'm the mother, so I'll take care of it. And that's what, you know, there's an allusion to that in your story as well. And then Mia Farrow also does the same thing. And that's what, you know, everybody tells you, religion tells you, I'll take care of you. You're accountable to me. I'll take care of you and everything will be fine. Well, it's fucking not fine. Okay? So, you know, when people say they're going to take care of you, don't believe them.
Wow, damn.
Don't believe them.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's
I'd
a
like to
message for
second
all our.
that.
Barbara Crampton, do not believe that anyone will
Don't
take
believe
care
it.
of
It's a
Don't-
great message for all our children viewers
it's
out there.
It's the
You know, their parents
politicians.
tell you.
No, but it's the politicians too telling us, we'll take care of you. We're going to fix these problems. And then
That's
they don't.
true. I do.
right?
Have you ever seen those things about like it's online where the videos where they have like kids who teach kindergarten like trying to like regulate Congress? I feel like there's something to like why can't they figure it out?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Yeah, where is this going? where? How did we wind up here?
I watched this.
It's like Animal Farm or something? What do you
Yes.
mean?
No, I watched this girl on the TikToks
Oh, TikTok.
Okay.
who
Okay.
is she's a preschool teacher and she provides scenarios as if like what's going on sociopolitically in Congress as if she's talking to her kids. So she
Oh.
goes, no, friend, not our time to talk now. Yes, I know you want to go golfing, but we have to do these before we can go play golf time.
I
Like,
was
we have to-
imagining children debating about abortion.
That's what
and
I
was like,
pictured,
what?
and I was like, "This is brilliant. We could learn a lot."
Yeah.
Now that's going to happen in the next film. We're just going to have them, instead of calling her a butterfly, you know, they're just going to
It'll
teach
be
her about
what,
abortion.
what does Johnny
Great.
think the optimal tax rate is? You know.
Well, look, we got to go soon. I do want to say one more thing. We're here. We're
going
seeing
off the
wrapping up
rails.
from all around
We're
us.
going off the rails.
Yeah, but you know, I just want to leave everybody with this. You know, it's like what your movie did is further illuminate that, you know, women are being controlled and they just want to control us, and it's just mirroring what's happening, you know, with Roe v. Wade and what happened, you know, in Arizona.
Yeah.
And you know, where they're going to keep that law going from the 1800s, and
Yeah.
what is going on?
We can't let them. We cannot let them. We must fight the censorship boards. And we must
I
stand
will
up for
not
ourselves.
be ignored. I will not be controlled.
Yes.
That's it. So thank you for illuminating that with
Well,
your film.
Thank you for watching our film, but also picking up on all of that. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Mutual respect. On that note, I gotta go. See you
She
later.
will not be controlled.
Go. There she goes.
We have one last question we always ask people on this show. what is your nightlight? And what we mean by that is amidst all the darkness in the world, when you wake up from the nightmare, or what is the thing that reminds you that everything's going to be okay, or that keeps you going at the end of the day?
Oh God, that's a really great question. This is going to be super corny, but Tim Smith, my partner, is the most wonderful man on earth. And it's so interesting to find a partner who you can write, these female stories with, and has a lot of really interesting insight, but also is like here to listen and explore things with me. And we've been partners for 8 years, and he does not snore. But if he did, hearing him snore is what makes me think like, okay, I can go back to sleep. It's safe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that's why he's so wonderful.
Yeah, because he doesn't snore. Yeah.
No, just officially for the record, he does not snore.
Okay.
But if he did, it's very sweet, very cute, and very comforting.
That's
I love that. So, please, if you can watch the First Omen in theaters, please. I don't know how much longer the run is still going.
It will be in theaters forever, but go right now.
No, go. Where else can they see your work? Where can they look for you online to keep updated?
Yeah, I am a ghost online. I am a hermit. I have no social media.
None?
Nope.
I looked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So apologies.
That's probably so much better for your mental health.
I know.
It's quite nice.
Yeah.
Yes. But in exchange, please go see, or instead of looking at my social media, we have 35mm prints at the Vista and the New Bev right now.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
They're beautiful. We have a really great Atmos mix.
Did you shoot on 35mm?
Oh, I wish.
Oh, okay.
I wish, but we scanned back.
Yeah.
So it still feels like velvet. It's still lovely.
Yeah. That's the thing is, I'm so sorry. You captured the 70s so well, and so many movies
we
take place in the
didn't talk about
70s, and like they're like, yeah, but it was obviously filmed this year, and yours looks like a 70s movie. It's great.
We worked really hard to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised to find out that it wasn't shot on film.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a very nice thing. Yeah, I get a little embarrassed because I'm like, no, I really wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really proud of those prints. I'm really proud of our mix. So thank you guys for seeing it in theaters. And
For sure.
everybody else.
It's the best way to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us. This has been such a privilege, such a body, what's the antithesis of horror? Body ecstasy.
Delight.
Body
Oh,
delight.
yeah.
Body
Ecstasy.
delight. Body delight.
Good.
If you want to hear more, if you have questions about this film, about filmmaking, please write into us. Please let us know on our Patreon. That helps us the most. But also subscribe on YouTube, on all the social media platforms. It's at screamdreamspod. I don't know if
And ring the bell.
And ring the bell.
Yeah.
Yes, ring the bell. Until next time, I'm Catherine Corcoran.
And I'm James A. Janisse. Be sure to leave the light on.